Hey there, my name is Shane Craddock, and this is the Inner Edge podcast, where I share a different take on how to lead and live a sustainable, high-performance life. Over the course of different episodes, I'm going to challenge the belief that tension, stress, and struggle are essential to success and creativity. My experience is that there's an easier way, there's a better way, and indeed there's an essential way that we need to explore for the times that we live in. So let's go ahead, let's jump in and explore. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of The Inner Edge with myself, Shane Craddock. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about a very topical topic, certainly in my world anyway, overthinking. And I'm back not too long from an annual retreat that I do with clients called the Thrive Experience. For 3 days, we step out of the business of everybody's world, and we take a structured look at maybe our personal lives, our businesses, and maybe go a little bit deeper than maybe we do normally. It's good time. One of the themes that I took out of the discussions with the group, but this thought that was emerging from a lot of the conversations, was how prevalent overthinking is with people. And certainly I can relate to that. And I think it's at an epidemic level in society in general. And that's what I want to explore a little bit today, is perhaps a different take, maybe a different angle to a solution on overthinking that maybe might make you think differently about it. This is an exciting week for me. It's a busy week. It's been a busy time, full stop, but my new book is launching this week. So this episode is coming out on Monday. On the Friday, the 20th of October, The Inner CEO is coming out. Multi-year project. It's taken a long time. It's been a challenge to get it this far, but I'm just at the top of the mountain almost. Kindle version is out already, and all the other versions, paperback, hardback, audio, they all come out on Friday the 20th. So depending on when you hear it, you might check it out. I'm also doing a special one-off webinar on Wednesday the 18th of October at 5 p.m. GMT. Called Unleash Your Inner CEO, which is, I'm going to share some of the ideas and concepts, insights from the book, as well as give away some prizes. So if you're able to make it live, please come along. I think you get some good value for free. And also you're going to maybe get a chance to maybe win some prizes. Now, one of the things that I do explore in the book, The Inner CEO, is the danger of a busy mind and the real danger of overthinking. And as I said a few seconds ago, it's at an epidemic level, but I think it really causes a problem in multiple ways. Apart from increasing stress, I actually think it's robbing people of their potential because we don't necessarily understand the danger of it, or sometimes even the fact that we're doing it. And also it's robbing businesses of ideas, innovations, and just it's robbing people of life. And I suppose the key message, or one of the key messages I want to get across today, is that from my perspective, when you overthink, you shut off your innate abilities. And maybe top of the list would be clarity and also the ability to think at a higher level. Because your thinking does affect hugely, obviously, your results in every level, personal, professional, sport. Your thinking is massively important, and not all thoughts are created equal. Now, when you understand the danger of overthinking, I think you tend to do less of it automatically. And that's perhaps the solution I want to point towards, is that when you understand something, you tend to kind of go, oh, you look at it differently than just techniques. So for example, I think the rise of mindfulness and meditation, even things like cold plunges, sea swimming, these are all great things. I actually think the rise of these things happening isn't just about health, of which there are many benefits, and that's to be applauded. I think also as part of what I hear from people who do those things is how they feel afterwards. They think, oh, my mind is calm, I'm pretty clear. And so they associate the activity, not realizing actually that state of clarity can be brought in multiple ways, not just by those activities. And once you understand that your mind can be really, really busy and overthink without sometimes you realizing or being aware of it, then it becomes easier for you to stop. It's a bit like this is a weird metaphor now, so bear with me here, but if you had one hand that was like, I don't know, stabbing your leg with a knife or a pencil, but you weren't aware of it, that it was hurting you. You're thinking, I just don't know how I'm going to solve this sore leg. But then you realize, oh, hold on a second here. I'm actually I'm stabbing myself. I'm hurting myself. When you see that, you just stop. And to me, your busy mind, your overthinking mind is very like that. Now, in a core metaphor that I use in the book, The Inner CEO, is where I just say, listen, if you have an organization, you need to have a good CEO to really make that organization come together. If you don't have a CEO in place, different departments in a real organization will start to drift. If you've got a poor CEO, that'll still happen. So a great leader, this is very often why they get paid the big bucks. They can actually bring everyone together, get aligned towards the pursuit of higher performance, vision, goals, whatever. Now, in the book, I just share this metaphor that you have an inner organization, your inner world. And let's pretend that you have these little inner beings inside yourself, and they kind of control how you think, how you see the world, what you believe about yourself, your levels of confidence, how you react to things, how emotional you get. And I call them the innies. They're all running around. But for most people, they don't realize they're there. And they're kind of running around with no real leader. And that's where I'm saying, listen, you have to step in to be the inner CEO, to align these guys, get them together, working together, and not working against you. Because very often for most people, their minds can work against them without realizing it. And so when you become the inner CEO, right, we get everybody aligned and we start to raise our game. And one of the things I've done is I have these great sketches done by a wonderful artist called Lisa Breslin, who's based in Donegal, and she's helped me bring the innies to life on paper. So you can see them in the book. We've got, most chapters have got a drawing, but one of the chapters has a drawing where there's an innie outside this room, and it says overthinking department outside that room. But it's kind of got this kind of like police hazard tape over the door, so you can't go into that room anymore. And the little innie is saying to another one, saying, yeah, the new CEO doesn't want us to go in there anymore. And the point of it is that the new CEO is saying, yeah, we're not doing overthinking anymore. Now, I used to try, when I became aware that my mind was really, really busy and I was overthinking everything, I used to try and stop it and get annoyed at myself overthinking. And that kind of made it worse. That really kind of made it worse. And a metaphor that I heard that actually was very helpful to me, and let's see if it resonates with you, is think about a fan. You know, a fan on a hot day, you might have it in an office and it's just there beside you and it's blowing nice cool air. And I can hit it to a setting of very fast, or I can hit it to a setting of very slow. And when it goes very fast, a fan, you know, it moves so fast that if I throw a little bit of paper at it, it won't go through the fan, it'll bounce off. And to me, that's like having really fast thinking. And no matter what happens, I get very reactive to everything. So if you've ever found yourself being very reactive, it's probably because your mind's overthinking. It just gets very reactive, can't take it in. But if I slow the fan down, I can kind of start to see through the veins. If I take a bit of paper and throw it, there's a good chance it might go through the fan. And that's kind of a calmer mind. So you still have thinking, it's just less fast and it's less reactive. And things tend to you tend to absorb things more. You tend to appreciate things more. It's just kind of more natural with no effort. And you tend to have more clarity. Your intuition is stronger. It's more clear. You tend to get more insights. You tend to be more relaxed, so you enjoy things more. You're probably more pleasant to be around. It's just, when your mind slows down, that has a huge effect on so many different things, which also brings in higher levels of thinking. And in a leadership context, whether that's work or business or even life, even with your family or with the community, higher levels of thinking are hugely valuable, because higher levels of thinking mean new ideas, new solutions. You tend to not get caught up with small problems, even big problems. Sometimes you don't get caught up. You tend to be more focused on the way forward and navigating better. It's a nice state. It's what I would call in the book even a 3C state: calm, clear, centered. Now, going back many, many years, I never really knew I had a busy mind. So I never really considered that it was an issue. I just thought, well, that's just the way I am. Isn't that just being a human? Isn't that just getting on with the busy world? But actually, overthinking actually blocks your humanity, because when you get stressed, because overthinking leads to stress. That's how you know if you're overthinking. You're stressed, you're probably fatigued. You more likely will have inner fog. Your sleep will probably be disrupted. You'll be waking up in the middle of the night because your mind is busy. You won't shut off. You can be very reactive, very reactive. And You might even start to become aware of the high volume of thinking and thinking, oh my God, I just can't shut this off. But it is worth reflecting on the volume of your thinking and having your own way, perhaps, of considering, well, is it working for you? Most people I know, until I have the conversation, they never really think about it. Most of the time, they'll kind of go, oh, no, it doesn't really work for me, but I hadn't really linked my overthinking with my stress. So it's to try and make that link with how you're feeling in your state to the level of thinking that's in your mind. Now, I will be sharing a cool tool on the webinar that I mentioned earlier on. I'll put the link to that webinar, Unleash Your Inner CEO. I'll put it in the show notes wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. And you can click on there just in case you haven't come across it already, because I know I was making my email list available. I'm making them aware of it there over the last 10 days. So just in case you're podcast only and you're not on email, check out the show notes for the webinar. It'll be run on Crowdcast, so it'll be a visual as well as my voice. So, but there'll be a cool tool I'm going to use that's called a Calm, Clear Mind. And it's something that I share in the book as well. But the tool is going to be something a bit extra. So for you, how busy is your mind, do you think, in general? Now, you might be aware that I'm clear that a busy mind is bad, but how's your mind at the moment? And is it working for you? And I think something to be aware of that certainly made a difference to me when I heard it the first time. And I remember being skeptical. I remember thinking, I don't know if I can do that. But I remember hearing from somebody that I really respected that, you know what, Shane, it's possible to be busy, but not have as busy a mind, not have a mind that overthinks in the way yours is. And luckily for me, I persisted in trying to figure that out. And that's what I share a lot of in the book, is how do you do that? But even considering what I'm saying to you today, maybe that might strike a chord. Maybe, as I say in the book, your mind, you start to realize that your mind is like a snow globe. A snow globe. You can get really, really busy with the snow, which is the thinking. But it works best. You see what's in the snow globe when you let it settle, and then your mind becomes calm and clear. Every now and again, though, of course, because you're a human, the snow will shake up. That's fine. But it's really, really important to let it settle during the day and not just wait for things like retreats that I mentioned at the start. We should be settling our mind, relaxing our mind as a way of life, as habits, powerful, powerful, useful habits. But how can we do that if we don't understand the value? I think for me, that's what registered with me when I first heard it, was I had to understand, the importance of this, the value of it to me. And it has proven to be very true. So I hope some of this maybe has struck a chord with you, because I think, like a lot of things, beer, chocolate, I don't know, whatever, too much of most things is not good for us. And that definitely includes thinking. That's it for this week. Ciao for now.